Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. It's Teresa here, and welcome to the Traci Reed Creative Team YouTube hop for the Haunting Collection release. And today I'm doing a layout focusing on the Beware cut files. I'm also using some of the fabulous pattern papers and the icon stickers in this collection. I have photos from way back in 2016, and these are our Halloween ghosties and goblins from that year. And this is a layout for Asher's kids album, who you previously knew as Emberlyn. And so I wanted to repeat this fabulous cut file and do a mixed media background with it. And so when you cut out the Beware cut file, you actually get several design elements, and there are several ways that you could use this. And this layout kind of highlights how many different ways there are that you can use this cut file. And so the first thing I'm going to do is use the chunkier cutout as the background for the mixed media. So I went in my stash and I grabbed 4 little chalk ink pads. They're the Dewdrop ink pads from Versamagic. And so then I'm working on just plain white basil cardstock. I think it's called Marshmallow. And I'm going to go in first and just measure out 4 lines, and the 4 lines are going to help me to know where to put the color down. And they're 3 inches apart, of course, and the cut file was cut to fit within the 3-inch sections. And if you're wondering how did I cut those out, what I did was I took one 12 by 12 blank canvas in Photoshop and layered in 4 solid pattern papers and 4 of the printed pattern papers, just a 3-inch strip of each. Cut those out and then cut out the cut files on top of that using the Silhouette Cameo. And I did that twice, once with the pattern papers and once with the solid papers. And then that gives the chunky pieces that you see here. And that became the kind of stencil for the ink. And then the cutout piece becomes the actual piece that I'll be gluing down onto the page. And I think it'll all make sense once you see it all coming together. And I will say that a lot of the decision making I did in process. So when I cut those out, I wasn't really sure at the time what I was going to do with them just yet. And it all just came to me as I started working. And the reason I wanted to point that out is because that is how some of the best layouts come to be, is when you don't really have a clear outcome in mind. You're just going with the flow and going with what the product tells you to do with it. I am skipping some of these portions just so you don't get bored to death, but it was really fun putting down the ink pads in the mixed media. I will note that the thing I loved most about working with these chalk inks is that you can build them up. So you can start out light and put more ink onto the page and blend it out so that you don't get streaks or circles or lines or whatever. And there, that completes the background. You know, you could just leave the background just like this And I also, loved sharing this background with you because I think that there's a lot of demand for different kinds of mixed media backgrounds. How can we start a layout this way, use our mixed media, use our stamp pads more, our ink pads more. And this worked out really cute. I'm really happy with it at this stage. Now, a couple of years ago, Maggie Holmes did these little kind of tape runner things. One of them is just a solid or a dotted line, and the other one has little sayings that go across the page. And so I used that to kind of blend in these lines where the colors end and the new color begins going up the page, just to divide that a little more, to add some black to the layout because every layout needs some black and white. And now I'm gonna go through the process of trying to figure out what I want to put, which color I want to put where. I did decide to use all the solid colors here. These are printed from the solid pattern papers in the Haunting collection. And then these are the alphabets or the words that you're left with as well. And so you can see the outline cut, the inside cut, which is purple here on this layout, and then the actual letters, which are turquoise and orange here. that turned out so cute. And so once I've decided where everything's going to go, I'm going to go ahead and glue it all down. I'm using my Zig pen, and I won't bore you with that whole process. I think all in all, it took me about an hour and a half to do this layout. So not really bad in terms of time investment. And really, it was so much fun. I just got lost in the process and just had a good time with it. And so now the cut files are all adhered down. And so going back to the photos here, and the chance to embellish. At this stage, I think that I've printed all of the icon stickers from the collection, and so that's mostly what I'm using here. I've printed 2 photos, one of Asher by herself, and interestingly enough, I used the AI tool in Photoshop to fill in the background. Both of the photos were taken in front of the garage door, but I thought that I would play with the AI tool in Photoshop, and it generated that woodsy, fallish background there. And so that's exciting. Let me know if you want to know more about that, if you'd like to see a Photoshop tutorial on how I created that background. I'm thinking about sharing that as a tutorial, so let me know if you're interested. And then for the embellishments, I'm going to do a pretty typical visual triangle, and of course embellish around the photos, add journaling around the photos, and then do embellishment clusters in 2 other spots. The photos, of course, are the focal point, right? The beware words bring your eye across the whole page. And actually, when we're reading left to right, as us English speakers do, they lead you right to the photo, which is why I chose to put the photos at the bottom right corner. You take in all of the layout, and then your eye goes right to the photos, and that becomes the major focal point. And then everything else, any embellishment clusters that you add beyond that are secondary. So they're going to be smaller clusters, a little bit more simple. and they're going to create kind of your visual triangle or your visual rectangle. You can do that as well. You don't have to always do a triangle. So the main elements that I've used were those adorable patterned stars. And you guys know I love shapes filled with patterns. So those take a priority here on the layout. And the little cat, that is a little representation of our black cat Zoe. And the dark cloud and the purple moon, oh, I love that. So those look really cute there. And then a little bit of pumpkin and some candy up on the top corner as well. The last little thing is just to add some enamel dots here, and these are just some that I actually pulled out for October Daily, and of course, you know, just having them on my desk made them easily available here and quick to pull from. Just some different shapes, different colors, repeating this purple and turquoise and green and sort of a corally pink color here. I had so much fun creating this. I hope that you will check out the other members of the creative team who are hopping along with us today. I will have everyone linked down below so that you can check those out. I hope that you find tons of inspiration and some really cool ways to use the Haunting collection. Traci Reed will also have a blog post on her blog pulling all of these gorgeous layouts together. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your kind comments, and I will see you back here again very soon. Happy haunting, everyone.